We're going to review today a course called Quarry Pines Golf Course in Tucson, Arizona. It's in North Tucson, just off the Interstate 10, just west of Interstate 10. Can't really tell you much more than that. Exactly where and what part of it is. It's on the same road as Crooked Tree, though, which going on the other side of 10 and keep going up the hill and going out. It's about 10 miles, I guess. It's Crooked Tree. This is on the same road going west across 10 the other way, and then it's like make a right and you're up into the district. So this is one of those cases where actually it's I kind of like have weird feelings about this round, but I'm going to try not to get into too much detail because I don't want to make more of things than they are and make more things later and all this kind of stuff. But this round left a kind of weird feeling, where you go, I have to maintain my public image. Whereas if I didn't have to worry about my public image, I wasn't making a review of the course, then I would say different things. But be that as it may, let's put it this way. This is an odd situation, which I think the irony is going to be appreciated by quite a few people out there. Have you ever gone and played a course that you really liked? You had a really good time playing it. It was very challenging, not too challenging, but still, on I would say somewhere close to the bleeding edge of too challenging, really, and had a great time playing it, but due to circumstances beyond your control, okay, you didn't really get as much enjoyment out of it as you would have if you had been, playing it in different circumstances, whether it's the rain or if it's too hot, you don't have enough, liquids with you. There were a bunch of little things that kind of all added up to a less than ideal round. But the course was really good. I really enjoyed playing this course. I would have had a better time playing it by myself with more fluids. If I brought like a 6-pack of beer, and if it hadn't been quite so late when we started and there hadn't been people ahead of us that were just goofing off and slowing down, and things just got out of control, I think, in the sense of it being just one too many straws, a couple straws. By the end of the round, I was like just totally dehydrated, tired, wobbling on my feet. It wasn't that hot for Arizona in the end of May, but still, it wasn't cool either. There's definitely a difference between playing Arizona in May, even in Tucson, and playing in Lompoc or Santa Maria or Santa Barbara or anything like that along the Central Coast in the same time period. I mean, I really left California heading east and was feeling pretty like I really didn't want to go. I didn't really want to be there, but I didn't really want to leave. There's this part of me, like a part of my id that just says I really, really would be happy staying here a little, a while longer. Let's put it that way. Made the 500-mile drive down to Tucson. Took me 11 or 12 hours to do it. It's like a 9-hour drive according to Google Maps, and it took me a good 12 hours to get here because the traffic going through LA was just insane. It's just crazy traffic. Every freaking highway was backed up for like most of the trip through Los Angeles. I ended up going, over Beverly Hills and taking this turn and that turn, and I'm thinking I'm passing. You're looking on Google Maps, you see all the little green zones and red zones and yellow zone. There's a 12-minute delay going this way, and but you're on the fastest route. It's always telling you you're on the fastest route. It's no fast route through LA. And part of me told me when I was coming down, do not go through Los Angeles. I don't care if you have to go through Bakersfield and Barstow and then head south. Whatever you do, don't go through Los Angeles. Another part of me said, no, I can take the Highway 1, and go down the coast. I've been through Los Angeles before, and it wasn't like this impossibility that it's become lately. And it's Memorial Day weekend and everything, but still, I mean, this was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. From when I got off of 101, you get down to 90, I guess it is, at the far side of Parkland or whatever it is, where that big long park is that runs, alongside the highway. And I know it's like 90, you get off there, 90 and 210 and 115 join together. It's like stop, stop, just everywhere. So it took me about 3 hours to get to Los Angeles. Okay. That right there threw me 2 hours behind. I was late getting started, so I didn't get out of Lompoc until, I don't know, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was like planning to be in Tucson by 12:30 at night. And man, there's nothing that sucks when you're racing around trying to get down the road so you can get somewhere before it's really late, other than the car breaking down in the middle of the highway at night. That, you having an accident in the middle of the highway at night. And I did pass a couple of unlucky people who were pulled over side of the road and whatever. But man, I tell you, I was driving in here at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just had to stop and get some gas. And I'm 5 miles up the road from the hotel. I had to stop and get gas, stop and get something to eat. It was almost 3 o'clock by the time I got there. 3 o'clock came here. I didn't go to bed until 4 o'clock that morning, and man, I didn't even want to open my eyes before noon. And then the kids at the hotel and the pool are screaming. Why do they have to scream like idiots? Why is there always at least one of these kids that's screaming like a fucking idiot? Seriously. It's like they enjoy screaming. 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. 9 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, so I got up, finally dragged my ass out of bed at noon, watched the little TV, this giant 64-inch high-resolution TV and monitor in my room, and finally broke that off, went out to get something to eat. Said, where am I going to go get something to eat? I said, fine. They don't have a restaurant in the hotel. So, fine, I'll go to the nearest golf course and get something to eat there. And if I'm having a great time, what I'll do then is I will go play around. And I was like, well, I walked out the door, a scorching wave of heat comes up. And it wasn't really all that. It was just starting to get cool around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, man, I don't even know if I can, deal with this heat and play this round. Went out and played it, and it was like not too bad. It was about like DC in July, before it really gets hot, before it's oppressively hot outside. So you're not going to die out there playing in this heat, which is one of the things that people were telling me is, yeah, it gets so hot in Arizona. Basically they have to pay you to play the course. Not quite that, but the course was $35 with a cart. Got a couple of beers and a hot dog for another $15. So less than $50 to play the course at twilight, starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And, the only problem we had is we walked at the door, went to the first tee. It took us 15 minutes to get off the first tee because the group ahead of us all the way around the front side was slow. People were just slow. I mean, it was just one of those things. And then there was a group, like a guy and his wife and 2 kids. And the guys run around like a psycho playing a course. And then he'd have to run back to his cart to get the cart because they didn't want the kids to drive the cart. They had 2 carts. And the wife was barely playing and the 2 kids, but they couldn't let the kids drive the cart. So I'm like, well, you got to be serious. So it was a pretty slow round, basically. And that was the major thing about it. We're all trying to get back and get done before dark, and we did. We definitely had enough time to get back and get done. But it's still, almost 5 hours to play around, and I'm used to playing around in 3.5 hours. So for me, it was like a lot of tedium. I'm sitting there looking at a course, which is a good course, SOAP 135 course from the gold tees. But again, they had the gold tees closed for most of the 18 holes. Some of them they had open, but some of them they did not. They definitely, the first one is surprisingly, like the gold tees are on the far side of the road away from the course, and the black tees were back at the back of the course on the main side of the course. I didn't even think they were back there, on this other, it's like this Aztec temple of a tee box. But anyway, it was very, very good, challenging course that was not quite that hard, even from the gold, slope 135, but from the blacks, it was only slope 123, and it was 6,300 yards from the backs, 6,500 yards from the golds. It just wasn't a long course, but it was not an easy course. It was a fairly tight course. You had plenty of opportunity to put balls in the weeds, and there was a big quarry in the middle of the course. There was another one on another side of the course. There's a lot of verticality, a lot of tight shots, a lot of, you had to be able to hit. I mean, it wasn't long, but you had to be able to hit this course to play it without losing 1,600 balls. And so I had a great time playing it. I just wish we could have just played it instead of all this nonsense dicking around waiting and stuff and slow play. It was sad. I mean, it was really sad because it was like a really nice dinner laid out in front of you, but you can't sit down and eat in peace. You have to deal with all this other nonsense. But as a course, it was a good course. And I will say this, that I would have given it an A course, an A rating, if they had not closed the clubhouse early, for one. Close the clubhouse at 5 o'clock. Things had been different in terms of the flow of the round, which I can't take away from the course, because part of the problem is the course is not an easy course. It just was not an easy course. And I would say it was probably a bit harder than 120 from the blacks, and definitely harder than 132 from the golds. This is not a child's course. And the problem with it is a lot of people who come out who cannot play it, but want to play it. You know, it's right there, and it's cheap. You know, it's relatively cheap, but there are too many people that come out on this course that can't play it and want to play from the whites, the blues, whatever. It doesn't matter what, tee box you play from. If you can't play, you're going to cause slow play everywhere else in the course behind you. So we had that problem, a lot of that problem. And then, I don't know what to say. I mean, I would love to go out and play it during the week when I can get out there on my own and play it at my own pace. I would definitely like to play it again at some point. But on the other hand, there's also the one and done philosophy. It was a good course and a great experience, but in the interest of having other experiences and other courses, I'm not going to go out and play this course twice and then go play another course. There's just too many good courses around here that I'd like to try while I'm here. I don't spend my life in Arizona playing golf. So for me to come out here and play is a plus right there in and of itself. I don't want to get bogged down and playing the same course 2, 3, 4 times. If I can sneak out, maybe get it again one more time before I leave. Anyway, it was a great round that could have been even better if a few other things had turned out the way that I would have liked them to be. So I'm going to give it an A-. Again, this is another course. I think that I've given an A- or B+ to a couple of courses out here lately that were good courses, but ultimately weren't really all that great of a course. This was a great course. This course would have been an easy slope 145 if it was a decent 7,000 yards or so. And from the gold tees, I know I made this point already, I'm going to say it again, 6,500 yards from your farthest, your championship tees is a statement of how tough the course is. It's not 7,000 yards from the championship tees. It's not 7,500 yards from the championship tees, which is a huge statement for a course which is a championship playing course. Okay, like a U.S. Open regional course or something like that. This course is no joke. Even though some of the holes on it are kind of simple and easy and so forth, the backside is definitely tougher, and there are some still decent tough holes on the front side. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 holes overall that are definitely challenging, and it would be nice to play it more than once, yes, to know that. But overall, for first time walking on this course, I was very happy with it. Very, very happy with it. So I'll give it an A-. At least I'll just bite the bullet on this. Maybe it's a little high or whatever, but I thought it was a really good course. That's Quarry Pines Golf Course in Tucson, Arizona, northwestern Tucson, Arizona, just south down I-10 from Phoenix. About 70 miles south down from Phoenix.